Hello, you've caught me thinking, as I often do, about boss fights and in particular why winning them is so satisfying.
Boss fights have been around for a very long time. Here they are, look, appearing with the first clumps of matter just after the Big Bang, and are essentially video games' way of rolling multiple challenges into a big ball, slapping on a life bar and some weak points, and then hurling it in your face.
They're more than just combat challenges, aren't they, boss fights?
Often they'll be combat, platforming and puzzle solving all at once, and so when you successfully multitask your way to victory, your thumbs performing gold medal worthy gymnastic routines across your DualShock, it feels fantastic. Do you know what makes it feel even better?
When you land the finishing blow with the boss's own weapon.
It has to be my favourite way to win a boss fight, using your enemy's own strength against them, giving them a taste of their own medicine, as it were.
Here are 7 times we killed bosses with their own weapons.
Check the description for the games listed and respective timestamps if you want to avoid spoilers. First entry, Hercules in God of War 3, which is, I feel, an underappreciated boss fight in the God of War saga. I particularly like it because A, it's quite easy, and B, the way you end it is the most God of War thing I've ever seen. I mean, already you've got Hercules, so often depicted as the golden boy of Greek mythology, being a bit, not perfect.
He starts the fight by saying how he wants to be the god of war and also how he's a bit jealous of Kratos for being Zeus's favourite.
I mean, he did put a giant sword through our torso in the last game, Herc, so if Kratos is Zeus's favourite, I really don't want to think about what he's done to you. Although, to be fair, it probably isn't as bad as what we're about to do to you, which is steal your Nemean Cestus gauntlets and use them to bash your pretty face in.
Stop hitting yourself, Hercules.
I think what I like most about this whole thing is how the winning of Hercules' gauntlets isn't just, like a menu popping up after you've beaten him saying, "Oh, well done, now you have the Nemean Cestus," but is Kratos forcibly taking them from him, a symbolic shift in power from brother to brother. Kratos has made a career out of breaking the seemingly unbreakable, of smashing through the glass ceiling imposed by the Olympian elite and dethroning self-styled gods. He shows them up for what they really are, corrupt bullies in divine costume. Kratos is a one-man revolution, a vessel for the collective anger of the repressed. Also, I really like how the game lets you swim to this spot for a really good look at what used to be Hercules' face. Number 2, the Thunderjaw from Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, I know these technically aren't bosses unless we count Redmore, but I don't have capture of him, so we're talking generic Thunderjaws instead. And they may as well be bosses, roaming the wilds of Horizon Zero Dawn like big scary metal T-Rexes, making us take 30-minute detours over hazardous mountain terrain because we're too cowardly to actually face them down.
You get to a point in the game, don't you? You know that point you always get to where you go from, "Oh, flipping heck, I am staying away from that," to, I wonder if I'm powerful enough to actually give this a go.
Run, hide, sneaky tear blast arrow, and oh, look what's just fallen off. The disc launcher.
I love this. You know that moment in every boss fight where you first think, I can do this. The disc launcher falling off the Thunderjaw is that moment manifest. And it is a joy to unload. A satisfying thunk as you launch a piece of serrated metal at the thing you used to be terrified of, its HP tumbling away like water through a broken dam. Let's not talk about the bit where you run out of ammo before it's down and have to run away and hide again.
Entry 3, Cortex, Crash Bandicoot. I hated this boss fight when I played the original game as a kid, and I hate it now in the Insane Trilogy. Laugh and tell me it's easy all you want, but I'm just not very good at dodging his projectiles.
My brain doesn't cope well with things being fired at it. You know, I like to slow things down, take my time and select what I'm going to do from a menu.
And usually what I select from menus is run and then come back later when I'm hideously over-leveled. But that can't happen here. To beat Cortex, you have to rely on skill and reactions and hand-eye coordination. And I don't have those things. Thankfully, what I do have is an ability to spam the spin attack button in a blind panic until Crash accidentally smacks Cortex's very own energy projectiles right back at him. Yeah, it's not nice, is it, mate? Some endgame spoilers for Metal Gear Solid 3 next, and we've got the boss. Now, I know what you're saying. You only really use the Patriot to put that final shot in after you've already won the fight. But I've not put this bit in a Friday feature for at least 3 weeks, and I really, really like it, okay? This is more of a tragic entry than a satisfying one, if I'm honest. You know, I didn't want to pull the trigger. No one wanted to pull the trigger.
Dave and Nathan somehow found themselves physically incapable of pulling the trigger.
Whoop, hey.
But pull the trigger you must, even if the game has to take over and do it for you. Much like Kratos inheriting the cestus from Hercules, the using of this weapon to finish off the boss is symbolic of that transition of power. Naked Snake is the boss's pupil. She passes everything to him: her skills, her knowledge, her politics, her weapon, her life, her title. The infinity-shaped feed chamber of the Patriots magazine, perhaps representing the endless cycle of war of which Snake, now Big Boss, is doomed to forever be a part.
Also, on subsequent playthroughs, it has unlimited ammo and you never have to reload it. Result.
Entry 5 has big old endgame spoilers for Portal 2 if you A, haven't played that yet, and B, ignored the spoiler warning at the start of the video. So here we go. Wheatley, the hilarious bumbling sidekick turned murderous AI, spends most of the final boss fight hurling bombs at you, obviously forgetting you have a physics-bending handheld portal device capable of bridging 2 separate points in space-time.
Which is a long-winded way of saying you can hit him with his own bombs.
Poor, stupid Wheatley. And after he's bombed himself enough times, the ceiling opens up. You do that bit that made your jaw drop the first time you saw it and that you still haven't stopped talking about since. You open a portal to the moon and send him right through it.
I like to think you're not really using Wheatley's own bombs against him, more his own stupidity.
Killed by his own idiocy. He spends the entire game hurling it out, much like the bombs in the final fight. Again, the same thing, never learning, until eventually he's just floating through the cosmic void until his circuits run dry, whenever that is. Entry 6 is a bit of a double entry, courtesy of Uncharted Drake's Fortune, where, right at the end of the game, Gabriel Roman is undone by the very thing he spent the entire game chasing. Okay, it's not his weapon, okay, he's not a boss, but I'm just putting this bit in because I really like it. He opens up the coffin, inhales the mutagen, becomes one of those horrible undead things you spent the last couple of chapters crying in a corner over, and then gets shot in the head by the real big bad, Atok Navarro.
I love a good "it was me all along" twist, and it turns out that yes, it was Navarro all along.
He played Roman, used him to obtain El Dorado, essentially a chemical weapon he plans on selling to terrorists, and then has a big old boss fight with Drake on a rainy ship.
Oh man, this fight took me ages.
But eventually, after fighting through waves of Navarro's goons, you send him down to the bottom of the sea thanks to the very thing he covets most. There's something poetic in this too. Navarro brushes aside the romanticism of the treasure hunt by valuing instead the evil within. And yet it's the physical gold that destroys him, tethered to his leg, dragging him down to the ocean depths.
Kind of like someone who doesn't believe in Father Christmas getting mauled to death by a reindeer.
Bye-bye, Navarro, killed by your own weapon, weighed down by your own greed.
final entry, and this is my absolute favourite for the sheer balls-out tenuousness of it. Atlas from Bioshock gets killed by you. Atlas makes you his weapon, doesn't he? To kill Andrew Ryan. It counts. Roll with it, it's clever. I will also accept Andrew Ryan being bludgeoned to death with his own golf club, but then that's not really a weapon and he's more of a cutscene than a boss. But anyway, back to Atlas. He sends you into the world to cause chaos. You are his ace in the hole, the key to his diabolical plan's success. And it's you, Jack Ryan, breaking free of these shackles that takes him down. And also the Adam. And also all of your guns. And depending on your actions, also the little sisters. Wow, Atlas really made lots of enemies, didn't he? Serves him right. Would you kindly die? And so there you go. 7 times we killed bosses with their own weapons. Can you think of any examples we've missed? Let us know in the comments. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to click that notification bell so you're always up to date with everything from the world of PlayStation. Thanks for watching, and join us again next week for another Friday feature.
For the players.